Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. We got Gator Unleashed here, Sunday, March the 27th, I think it is. I've been out to Walmart this morning, got another box of the 22 ammo I've been telling you guys about. The Federal, 325 round boxes for $22 and change out the door. Uh, if you go every weekend and get a box of that, 10 weekends, you've got 3,325 rounds of 22 ammo. Just that quick and that easy. Then you don't have to, the next time it's unavailable, you don't have to go to the flea market and give somebody $65 for that same box. Uh, I just really wish people would stock up on ammo while it's available. It's not always at Walmart still, but more often than not, you can get a box. They only let you have one box per day, one box per customer per day. So if you take your wife with you, you can get two boxes. Um, It's amazing how many people in my small world, in my small circle of friends, don't have a single 22 round. And some of them have two or three brand new 22 rifles, and they complain that they can't shoot because they have no ammo. And they complain because the guys at the flea market are selling it and making $35 a box on it. Well, if you get up on Saturday and Sunday morning, or if you're off Tuesday and went Thursday or whatever, if you'll get up to go to Walmart, you can get some ammo. You can get some ammo. So it is out there. It's not like it used to be. You can't go every evening and get it, but or you can't go and buy 6 boxes. Shotgun shells still just got a thing of the past. It's hard to find any shotgun shells. Yesterday, I wanted to touch on. I got a really nice box, 124 grain. This is the type of stuff that you can find at your local gun shops, and I think that's a very competitive price, $21.99. This is 124 grain full metal jacket. Uh, every gun I have will fire 115 grain ammo just fine. But some guns are a little picky. If you've got one that seems to be having some issues with failure to eject, try some 124 grain. It will make a difference. If you have some issues with limp wristing, maybe a woman should carry 124 grain. I don't know. I'm not. All that stuff's debatable, but try some things. It may work for you. Is what I'm saying. Uh, but that's not what I'm about here today. I just always like to bring ammo to you. Also, I always like to bring this over penetration problem that can cause us lots of trouble. I don't mean to be repetitive so much, but in your carry gun, nothing's more important than your carry gun. Your range gun, that's a different scenario. You're just out plinking, having fun. Um, that's sport. Your carry gun, that's a weapon. Look up the definition of weapon. That's what you use to save the life of you and your family if somebody tries to bring harm to you. You need to think about what can happen if you use full metal jacket ammo in your, I'll say 9mm for example. That bullet will go through a lot. I mean, that they have extreme penetration of full metal jacket 9mm round does. So if you shoot the bad guy and that bullet goes through and hits somebody else, you have really messed up the lives of a lot of people. We can only hope that the bad guy goes down for good. He needs buried. These hollow points, find you some good hollow point ammunition. It's expensive, I understand that, but you have to. I think you need to use that, and you certainly need to use some of it. You know, you're going to have to spend some money and practice with it in whatever weapon you choose to use. Oh, because if your weapon won't feed it, then you're going to have some serious troubles. If, God forbid, you run into something. And you probably won't. I always stress, you probably won't ever need your weapon, but you could. Um, if this reaches enough people, some of you will run into a situation where you have to defend yourself with your weapon, with your firearm. You might have to kill somebody. You might have to actually fire your gun and shoot somebody. Hope you don't. That'd be a terrible thing to have to do. It's possible. What I wanted to touch on, though, while I was at the local gun store yesterday here in London, Kentucky, I was looking at the Glocks, and I did a video on the Glock 48 here not long ago. about it being a potential weapon that you could carry for for self-defense. Oh, and while I was at the gun store looking, the Glock 17 was the Glock 17 was $799 for a new Glock 17. A 19 was $699. These prices really kind of floored me. I didn't realize what had happened to the prices of these Glock pistols. And this is a very competitive gun store I was at, Center Target in London, Kentucky. I've bought several things there. A Glock 26 was, I'm not sure. It was at least $5.99. But anyway, I got to looking. There was Glock 48s, all you wanted, $499 brand new. And I just thought, man, that's a drastic difference in price. So I got looking at some things, and evidently people don't like the Glock 48. And this is it right here. As you can see, this weapon it's not loaded. Look what a handsome man. Evidently people don't like this gun. Now, for some reason, I picked this gun up yesterday when I went out. I have several. I'm very blessed. I have several guns to choose from, and I usually always carry the same gun for a long period of time. And I've been carrying the Taurus G3C for a long time. I recently took a trip to the state tournament and was worried about some things, so I took the Ruger LC9 because it's one of my oldest guns, and I've done a video on this. I had to go into Rupp Arena. They won't let you carry a gun in there, so I had to leave my firearm in the truck, and I was afraid somebody'd steal it, so my Ruger was the gun I could stand to lose the most. I would hate to lose that pistol, though. And actually, after I carried it down there, I carried it everywhere else I went in Lexington, Kentucky. But after that day, I remembered how much I do enjoy carrying that pistol. It's just so easy to carry. It's so comfortable to carry. It just fits me really well. And that's one of the most important things in your choice of finding a weapon to carry. Your weapon, again, look at the definition of weapon. Weapon needs to work for you. What other people like, it doesn't matter. If you go back and start looking at some of the most known warriors throughout history of time, every one of them's got a different weapon. They all found something that worked for them. And we're not in a situation where we want to be a warrior. We just want to be able to protect ourselves very efficiently without hurting anyone else. There needs to be no innocent bystanders affected. And hopefully nothing happens. That's the ultimate situation. But anyway, I picked this gun up, decided to carry it yesterday, so I went on out. Any gun I carry, I have to put a few rounds through it. You know, Saturday it was a really pretty sunny day, though it was cold, but I went out, and as I've said in all my videos, I don't put a lot of rounds through a gun when I go do some shooting with it, just to refamiliarize myself with it. I put like 20 rounds through this. These are fantastic. These are absolutely fantastic. This is a Glock. It's just like all the other Glocks. It's going to fire every time you pull that trigger. Cycle's great. It's very accurate. It's about the same size as a Glock 19. So I studied and thought, why is this such a poor seller? I just don't understand it. And the only thing I can come up with is it only holds 10 rounds. And I guess that a lot of people don't like that, and I guess they feel like if they're going to go with a weapon that's about the same size as a Glock 19, why not use the Glock 19? Because I think it holds 15 rounds plus one. I think. I'm almost certain it's 15 plus one. I don't own a Glock 19. I own a 26, and I own the new Glock 45, which is a 9mm. I think Glock made a poor choice in tagging that a 45. Everybody thinks it's 45 caliber. No, it's not. It's a 9mm. It's a 17 frame with a 19 slide. And I like it. It's a bigger frame, though, and I can tell a major difference. And when I talk about this, your weapon needs to fit your hand, it's so important. I've got big hands and short fingers. Everybody's different. Everybody's made different. If you're a person that has short fingers or small hands or whatever, It's a little bit of a struggle to maneuver, to manipulate a full-size Glock, like a Glock 17 or a Glock 45. I can do it, and it's manageable, and I can do it and feel very good with it. This 19, where it's a single stack, it's a little bit thinner. It has a little bit smaller frame. And man, I can just reach the trigger perfect on this. My little stubby fingers, it's just, I can really manipulate this. The Glocks don't have safeties. They don't have a safety to worry about. And when I say to worry about, I mean if you're in a situation where you have to get your weapon quickly and fire, if you carry a weapon and you use a safety, you have to have it programmed in your actions, not your mental thought process. In your natural reaction, you have to have it programmed to draw that weapon, flip that safety off, and be ready to throw lead. Because if you don't, if you pull that trigger and it won't work, that split second for your mind to process what the hell's happening here, why won't this shoot, you're going to get killed. And then if you're protecting your daughter or your wife or your family or whoever else, they're probably going to get killed and robbed or whatever's going on. So that's why you go to the range with the firearm you're carrying and you practice. That's why you go and practice. You don't have to put a massive round count. You don't have to spend a huge amount of money. You can just practice drawing, flipping the safety off. Or if you carry a weapon like this, you don't have to bother with the safety. And a lot of people don't like a safety for that reason. I'm on the fence on that. I sort of like a safety. I sort of like that safety. The Taurus G3C I mentioned that I've been carrying for a while, it does have that safety. I can chamber around in that weapon, flip my safety on, and I feel really comfortable carrying that around my wife and kids, around any of the grocery stores, Walmart, wherever I go. I feel really comfortable with that not going off. Now, a weapon like this, I also feel really safe and really good about it. But it does cross my mind every so often, because it just does. You know, I mean, if you pull the trigger somehow accidentally, if something hits the trigger, I mean, things happen. And we don't need things to happen when you're talking about carrying a weapon in our society. That's not to go out and do things you're not supposed to do. That right prevents a lot of people from doing things that they shouldn't do. So we have to be ultra responsible. We're under the microscope all the time by the people that want to take away our right to have this. And they're really smart, these people are. They've done a lot of things to take away our ability to carry this without taking away our right to own it. For example, I touch on all the time, you can no longer buy a 9mm. You can't buy this at Walmart anymore. You know, they've used the media and political correctness to punish us, to erode away our rights. This is useless. Without this, I might as well have a rock or a stick. And that's very as basic as it gets. But that's what gets overlooked in our world today. It's the basics. The more people are educated, the more they forget where they come from. But back to the Glock 48. Anybody out there that's looking for a weapon, I would certainly say give this a look. And the prices, what I said the prices was here, and I'm not. I don't think it was $5.99. I know the 17 was $7.99 and the 19 was $6.99. And I picked this up, not this particular one. I've had this forever. I picked up the Glock 48, and it might have been $5.99, but I'm almost certain it was $4.99 because it was like tempting to buy another one just to have, but I didn't, of course. But it may have been $5.99. Regardless, it was at least $100 cheaper than every other Glock they had there. I think a 26 might have been like $6.49, so it might have been $50 cheaper than them. But anyway, the Glock 48 is the cheapest Glock right now. Looking at numbers, it's their poorest seller. You know, then you've also got the Glock 43, which is almost exactly the same thing. It's just a little smaller. They make a 43X. It's the same handle, but just a little shorter barrel. The regular 43 is shorter handle and barrel. So the only thing I can come up with in my thought process is this gun is just because of its lack of capacity and then somewhat bigger size over the 43s, I guess it's just fallen into a situation where a lot of people make other selections, and that's fine. I'm not trying to. I never try to tell people what to. The only thing I try to encourage people to do is get what fits you, and do not let other people influence you on what works well, or what's a good gun, or what's a bad gun, or this, that, and other. If it fits your hand, if you can manipulate it and use it and work it, then it's a good gun. And of course, if you take it to the range and it functions right, which I don't think that's going to be a problem for 99% of the firearms out there today. They really work great. These firearms are pretty well not complicated. Um, but anyway, I just wanted to touch on some of this stuff. Right now would be a great time to get a Glock 48 is the most basic message I'm trying to get across here, because they're just marked down. And I can vouch for you, this is a fantastic weapon. It's absolutely fantastic. If it fits your budget, you know, if Glocks, if $7.99 is the going price of a Glock 17 now, and you can get this for, we'll say it was $5.99, just because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to make a false advertisement at Center Target in London. I'm pretty sure it might have been $5.99, but I actually think it was $4.99. It was new. But anyway, regardless, let's say it was $5.99. If these are $200 cheaper than a Glock 17, and then on top of that, if you have small hands or short fingers, or if you're a woman and have a smaller hand, you don't need that extra 7 rounds in your personal defense weapon. I can assure you of that. You don't need it. These magazines are also different. This might be another reason these don't work. Like the 17 mags, they'll interchange with the 19, the 26. They'll work in several carbine caliber rifles that they've come out with. So that's something that hurts this gun. This magazine won't fit. I have a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. I'm going to do a video on it before long. The magazine out of the Glock 48 or the Glock 43 won't fit those. Everything else will. A 26 mag won't, because it's too short. But a 19, 17, 45, those Glock models, their magazine will work in my Kel-Tec Sub 2000, which is really cool. And I look forward to bringing the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 to you guys. Hopefully I can do it at a range. I'm going to get a GoPro camera. We're going big on this channel. I've mentioned it before, guys. We're going big time. I mean, we're going to tear that big Hollywood sign down, and it's going to say Gatorwood. We're going to rule the world. Oh, but first things first. Right now, we're going to try to get this gun out to you guys. Several good reasons to give this gun a look. Just several good reasons. I think it's a good-looking gun. I like the looks of Glocks. A lot of people don't. A lot of people talk about them. This is bone stock. I don't have anything on it. A lot of people get these and they throw off on these sides. They tear them off and go spend another $150 on sights. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Whatever works for you. You are all that matters, nobody else. Personally, I haven't done that with any of my Glocks except one. I made my 26. I personalized it. And I featured it on my channel, one of the self-defense volume. It was one of the early ones, 3 or something, I don't know. I done a really good, I done a really in-depth video on how I personalized my little Glock 26, which is a great. Carried it for years. I love it. I love them all, though. I'm weak. I love them all. Kind of like blondes, brunettes, redheads. I just like them all. I have been faithful for 32 years, though. But anyway, back to the old pistol. Give it a look, guys. Check out the prices. Don't let other people influence you. You know, if you watch somebody shooting a Glock 19 or a Glock 17, and man, they're throwing that lead, if they're having a big range, if they're at the range enjoying their Glock 17, and I have fired Glock 17s. My brother's got one at the range. They're awesome. I enjoy them. I enjoy them all. It's nice to have those extra rounds. That's not practical to carry, though. It's all a trade-off. You know, you got 7 more rounds with that Glock 17. You put that on your side and go run around with your wife all day shopping. And about 3 hours into that, you get in the mall and you're dragging up and down there looking at necklaces and bracelets and clothes and this, that, and the other. That old pistol, it starts getting heavy. It's not really that it's heavy. It starts becoming uncomfortable. Uh, so you got a trade-off. You start thinking, man, this gun's kind of big. I wish it was a little smaller. Well, sacrifice 7 rounds, go down to this. Or sacrifice more, go down to a little pocket carry 380 or something. You got to do what works for you. And if you're blessed enough to be able to buy 2 pistols, then maybe get a little pocket carry 380 and a bigger pistol. That's all your choices. Your budget plays a huge role in that. I like 9mm because ammo is a little cheaper than 380. It always has been. 380 will work though. 380 will work for personal protection. 22 will also. 22 long rifle will also save your life if somebody tries to bother you. But anyway, that's all I've got here today, guys. Don't want to bore you to death. Mentioned these Duke Blue Devils in my last video. They've made it to the Final Four as I predicted. And I do predict again that next Monday night they're going to win. They're going to win the national championship. Now, having said that, I live in Kentucky and I am not for Duke, but it is what it is. This Coach K is just a great coach. The only thing I've ever seen on Duke that I don't like is they seem to have some players more so than other teams that have been dirty as hell through the years. What was the guy's name? Grayson Allen. I don't believe in dirty basketball. I'm not for that. Basketball is a game. It's a job at the NBA level. Still, you don't want to hurt nobody. But I do believe Duke's going to win it. I was pulling for Arkansas and Houston last night. They both lost. And what a blessed world we live in. Even though we've declined so much during Joe Biden's presidency, we still have a very blessed world. We need to pray. I guess we need to all pray for the world. I see a lot of people would pray for Ukraine. No, I'm not really about that. I hate seeing those people go through what they're going through because they're not the villains, but the Ukrainian government is corrupt, I believe. So when I want to start doing prayers, I want to pray for the people of the world, not just Ukraine. Because I think about every country is infested with corrupt leaders. It's just, don't know what it takes to fix that, but that's just my thoughts on that. Don't want to get off topic here. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy these NCAA tournament games today if that's what you're into. And I hope and pray that there's nobody going hungry today. It really bothers me that I see yesterday that we've got a hunger problem in the United States of America, the richest country in the world. We send, was it $13 billion to Ukraine when we've got people here that need food? That's a problem for me to process. But anyway, you guys have a great day.